is it then. There's the border crossing where all those lorries are lined up. I've got my passport ready. I want minimal faff. I really hope they let me through. Let's go and find out, shall we? Hi. I have to stay in Albania. Is there anything I can do to get through? No? Shit. On the way back, 3 people shouted coronavirus at me. I'm a high-risk person with this virus and I need to go home. These are my flight tickets. You need to help me. That's it. You're the police. You need to try and help me.
All Europe is cancelled.
They're still flying. This is insane. Stop. Let's go back to the start. How do you process a lifetime of anxiety? Quit your job and go for an adventure. See you later! My name's Sam. I've got a rare genetic kidney disease called Alport syndrome. It causes hearing loss, eye abnormalities and kidney failure.
We can see that your kidney function is deteriorating quite fast.
Against all the odds, I've decided to try and cycle 10,000 kilometres around Europe to raise money for charity. Join me on my journey from off-road mountain biker to conscious living, skydiving, wild camping, bike touring, don't know what the hell I'm doing but starting to get the hang of it, I think, adventurer. If you'd like to help me out, hit the subscribe button in the bottom right corner. I'll really appreciate it. Also follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Scrap the Mask, and if you want to find out more about the campaign, click the link in the description. Let's go. Staying positive isn't something you can just switch on when you need to. I think it takes a lot of time, effort and self-reflection to understand yourself, to acknowledge the things that feed your soul with positivity. I was diagnosed with Alport syndrome when I was 18 months old. It's hereditary and has passed down through generations on my mum's side of the family. My parents gave me an incredible childhood, and it's something that I'm very grateful for. I also clearly had an interest in freedom from an early age. So what is Alport syndrome? The kidneys contribute a huge amount towards the overall functioning of the rest of the body. They regulate fluids to remove waste products from the blood and to produce urine. They help to control blood pressure. They also create hormones to help produce red blood cells, which carry oxygen around the body. Plus they control acid levels. Alport syndrome is a mutation in the COL4 alpha 5 gene, and it damages the same basement membrane in the ears, eyes and kidneys. When the kidneys become damaged, the filters in these membranes begin to break apart. The mutation often occurs in the X chromosome. Men have X and Y chromosomes and women have XX. Because men only have one X chromosome and women have 2, if the gene is faulty, men don't have a second X chromosome with a healthy version of the gene to help compensate. As a result of this, women usually have milder symptoms but are still an Alport's patient because they are carriers of the gene. Whereas in most cases, men will develop hearing loss, eye problems and end-stage kidney failure. Since the discovery of COL4 alpha 5, research shows that 2 other genes also cause Alport syndrome. Although research continues to improve the lives of those living with Alport syndrome, there is no cure and the only alternatives are dialysis and kidney transplantation. That's my older brother, Matthew. As kids, we were both introduced to loads of sports. But riding a bike was always my favourite thing to do, even when I wasn't very good at it.
Not too fast, Sam. You forgot me. Oh.
With X-linked Alport syndrome, there was a 50-50 chance for both of us to contract the gene, but Matthew isn't affected. There are absolutely no hard feelings though. We both developed a connection to nature and a love for mountains when we were little. He lives in Canada now, so I paid him a visit for my 30th birthday.
Okay, we're going to go down the funky tree run. Okay. Look at him go. Nailed it. Just saved my board from a massive rock. It's the last day, what do you have to say?
Can't believe it's the last day. 9 days you've been here. You're quieter when you've gone.
What's that supposed to mean?
I've been visiting hospitals and my kidney function has been monitored all my life, which is also something I'm extremely grateful for. Like all of us in the UK, I'm very lucky to have the support of the NHS, and it's something I'll never take for granted.
Yes, here we are again on our way to John Radcliffe Hospital. Yet again, another trip.
This challenge I've set myself is my way of giving something back to those less fortunate than me, but I'll come back to that. Alport syndrome affects me in many ways, and although I appreciate being an able-bodied person, I've definitely had a few challenges thrown my way because of it. The two distinct physical implications are my hearing loss and eyesight. I've lost count of how many days have been spent attending hospital appointments.
And what have you noticed, and how long has that been going on?
Well, first thing I noticed was in my right eye, I get this blur, this kind of smudge.
Is that in the central part?
Around the centre, yeah, it's almost like a dab of glue on the centre of my eye. C-A-H-O-A. That's as far as I could go.
When I was 17 years old, I failed my first driving test without even driving the car. I didn't realise my eyesight was that bad, and I couldn't read the number plate. It took 2 years to discover that I had irregular astigmatisms in both eyes that could only be fixed with lens replacement surgery, also known as cataract surgery. I then passed my test first go when I was 19.
So basically what we're going to do is we're going to flash some lights at you and record what happens at the back of your eye in response to those flashes of light.
In more recent years, I've been having ongoing problems with my central vision, otherwise known as macular degeneration. I should really be wearing glasses when I'm indoors and with low light. But while I'm outside during the day, my eyesight isn't so bad.
A whole day of driving and waiting. Already spent, 9:30. How long's that now? 9, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're now up to 8 hours today.
And we're now going to the audiology department in Reading to try and get my hearing aid fixed, which is broken due to unknown reasons.
I've had a whole day off work, not earning any money.
Chatting to the head of department, and we're happy to repair these, but they won't give you a spare set of them because ITs don't even exist in the NHS anymore, basically. And I said, even if you paid for them, could you do it? And she said no. It's still under warranty, so it shouldn't be a problem getting us sorted. So. Okay, let me know if this causes any discomfort at all.
I was advised to wear hearing aids when I was 15, but I just couldn't face wearing them at school. I even used to take them out while I was at work, and it got me into trouble with my colleagues when I was 17. I only started wearing them every day when I was 18. Since then, I've developed a love-hate relationship with them. I love them because, well, I can't hear without them, and I rely on them so much that when they don't work, it's infuriating. It's not very often I get the camera out when I'm feeling like this, but I've just got home from work and I'm in a foul mood. All day, whenever I smile, talk or move my face, this has happened. smash this into the wall right now. It does amaze me sometimes how something so small, such a tiny little inanimate object, can have such an adverse effect on my life. You know, it's just a hearing aid. So what? Loads of people have got them. Every now and again it just takes over. It does, it just completely takes over. Today is one of those days. Aside from the physical challenges, delving a little bit deeper into the mindset, I've had various doctors throughout my life, and when I was 10 years old, one doctor explained to me that it's a bit like a time bomb really. No one knows when your kidneys are going to fail. The psychological impact of that statement, this concept and rotten seed that was planted that day, was destined to affect me for the rest of my life.
Accepting something is the hardest thing to do. It's alright forgetting about it and keeping yourself busy and doing whatever takes your mind off it, but the fact is it's always there in the back of your head. So once you learn to accept it and deal with it, then you can get on with your life.
I've had a constant battle with anxiety, but somehow always managed to avoid taking medication for it. My kidney function's been fairly stable for most of my life, but between December 2015 and May 2018, 2.5 years, my kidney function declined by 40%, and I was prescribed a higher dose of medication to help delay kidney failure. I felt incredibly isolated around that time, and I really wasn't coping very well with everything going on inside my head.
Ridiculous. I can't just keep busy and distract myself and keep my mind off it all the time. I just can't physically do it. I'm knackered. I'm absolutely exhausted.
I need to meet people in a similar situation. I think it would make me realise that I don't need to feel so lonely. Because that's the thing, I feel lonely. I feel really on my own with this. I don't know anyone other than family members that have even had it or know so much about it. And I need to meet more people. I know I do. The idea of cycling through Europe to raise money for charity came quite naturally.
Oh yeah.
And I took a huge amount of inspiration from the creative agency I used to work for. My former bosses gave me some incredible opportunities to work and travel around the world. My first ever trip with Marco was filming a charity bike ride from Saigon in Vietnam to Angkor Wat in Cambodia.
Okay. All right, man. Hello, hello. I'm coming to you. Thoughts, feelings, emotions?
Mate, do you know what? Yesterday felt a little bit traumatising. I've not ridden 71k in my entire life. But yeah, got the job done, cramped up in the evening. And today I don't actually feel too bad, so yeah, it's all good.
It's a little bit embarrassing when this little man needs shots.
He does 71k every day. No problem.
Here we go. This is it then. Let's go to Uganda.
I also travelled to Uganda with Campo to make a collection of short films about an alternative care movement whose aim is to protect children from corrupt orphanages and to provide them with safer well-being within large communities. These trips are some of my most valued life experiences, and during those years I worked in many other countries. The vast majority of these adventures involved filming groups of people raising money for charity. So in December 2018, when I found out my kidneys were likely to fail by the end of 2019, I decided I couldn't stay put and wait for that to happen. You know, I've done a lot of thinking over Christmas, and honestly, I think I'm going to have to hand my notice in.
You know, the business is a business, and that's up to us to figure out what the business has to do. I just feel utterly gutted. Like, can't imagine how you feel.
Yeah, I think that's an important thing. Like, this isn't about the business; it's about you, right?
And on a personal note, you're right. Like,
it's given me something to focus on. Put it that way.
Yeah.
And I think I need that. I always need that. You know, I always need something to really feel like my life's fulfilled. And hopefully it'll be a good thing for other people. If I raise 10 grand or even more, put it straight towards offering support for more people that haven't been diagnosed yet. I mean, to be honest, that actually is my main driver. I just want to, while I can, do that for other people. It just, you know, it's massive for me. I've always wanted to do something. And I never knew what, but this just sprung at me.
You know, we're going to feel much happier knowing that you're out there smashing something over the summer than just sitting here feeling fucking depressed about being at work. So yeah, it's the right call in every way.
Sweet.
Well done, brother.
I know. Cheers.
Monday morning, eh?
Hi, Susie, it's Sam. Hi, sorry if I've caught you by surprise. I'm going to be leaving work in about 20 minutes, so I thought I would call you. That's all right. I arranged to meet up with Allport UK in Oxford. I discovered them while searching for support groups online, and it has completely changed my life for the better. We discussed my plans for the fundraising challenge. Suddenly I felt as though I had a real purpose, and it was at that point I realised that I could do something that I would not only enjoy, but to help others and tackle my own issues with Allport syndrome head on. Once I'd come to terms with the scariest decision I've ever made in my entire life, I decided it was time to meet up with my nephrologist, Dr. Emma Vaux, to see what she thought about the adventure.
This trip is very likely to accelerate the decline in your kidney function.
Not exactly what I was hoping for. So, how dangerous is this for me in my condition to actually be doing this challenge?
Well, it's all about being sensible, which clearly this trip isn't.
Something I'm not very good at.
Well, there is that. So it's about everything in moderation. It's about making sure you stay hydrated, that you have a healthy diet, that you get sleep, that you allow yourself to recover between your cycling. Just being sensible, boring but important. Should we have a look at your latest results? Okay, so we can see that over the last few years, it's been fairly relentless in its decline, but perhaps over the last few months, it's plateaued a little bit. Maybe a little bit of a breathing space there.
Okay.
When you're trying to do lots of exercise though, particularly if you're doing endurance exercise, then we need to think about that maybe you do need to increase the protein load a little bit, because we don't want you to lose lots of muscle mass. So it's trying to get the happy balance between the two. What we always need to be really careful about is that when your kidney function starts to change, that we're not overloading the kidneys with high protein loads. That can sometimes be a little bit more difficult for the kidneys to cope with. And it doesn't mean that when you come to being on dialysis or having a kidney transplant, you won't be living life to the full. It's just a different life. It feels like you're claiming back your life now for you, having some control over it.
very grateful that I'm an able-bodied person and the cards I've been dealt with also motivate me to live life to the full. I'd feel guilty if I didn't take advantage of my ability to do sports, so there's not really much I haven't tried. But my main passions are mountain biking, snowboarding, and more recently, skydiving. Join me next week to find out how I became a skydiver. I don't think I'd ever felt so alive.
I want to do it on my own.
These may be my limits. I might not pass the course. I was pretty stressed and tense to begin with. I could feel my confidence growing with every jump. I had absolutely no idea that the sky could feel like such a playground.